Yo, what's up, you guys? It is Friday, August 29th, and we are back with our final 5-minute daily review for TNS. So don't worry, we're going to still do daily reviews, but it'll just be for the 1 minute only. This will be the very last one that I do for the 5 minute. But with that being said, let's just jump right into things. So we have basically only one setup way down here. Let me actually turn on the FEGs. But yeah, we got one setup way down there. That's pretty much it. And nothing else. So we basically just dumped all the way down to that setup. And it gets tagged in, but it did fail because, we just kind of just dropping like a knife. But that's the stop loss there. And I think it's version 2. Yeah, that would be version 2. So it's a loss for both versions for trade number 1. Okay. So after that one loss, we didn't get another setup for a very long time. I'm just going to fast forward really quick till we get the setup. As you can see, there's nothing there. Until we get about right here, there's a short setup, and this one basically got stopped. The lower entry got stopped, but the higher entry did end up playing out. So I'm just gonna mark out both the stop losses. Fast forward a bit. The TP is for 22 points for using the lower entry, but the lower entry is the one that got stopped, unfortunately. So you can see the lower entry got stopped there. So it's gonna be trade number 2 for both versions as a loss using that lowest entry. Okay, now backing up to the actual setup here, the higher entry is the one that actually got TP. So the TP is down here, and if you took the higher entry for 40 points, it did actually play out. So remember, the lowest entry stop loss is here, the higher one is here. So I'm just going to remove the lower one since we know it got stopped anyways. And remember, the TP is down there. So it took a little minute, and it did get TP. And the stop loss still intact. So that one is going to be a win for 40 points. So once again, it's going to be trade number 3 for both versions here as a win for 40 points. All right, so once again, that's trade number 3 using the higher entry, just showing that it did get stop loss it did get the TP once again. Sorry, you can see the TP is down there, and that basically is the end of the day. This is the 4 o'clock candle, as you can see, which means these would be our final stats for today. So let's tally it all up and get our final results. All right, guys, so these will be our final results for today. Both versions with the same exact results because they took the same exact trades. So both versions today with minus 0.8 R, minus 30 points, and that's with 1 win and 2 losses on the day. So a pretty disappointing ending to the week because this basically definitely does not fit our normal Fridays. On top of that, we only got 3 setups, really only 2, because the one that's a win is basically just the highest entry for that short. So truly, I mean, someone probably took 2 losses here today, and maybe if you're lucky, you got 1 loss, 1 win. So maybe you're only like up 5 points on the day, but still not too great of a day for the 5-minute TNS. But yeah, guys, that basically is going to be it for the 5-minute TNS daily reviews. Thank you for everyone who watched. But yeah, let's see how the 1 minute did. All right, so here I am on the 1 minute chart with the TNS indicator settings checked with the 1 minute preset, which means it has our 1 minute settings on there. So jumping right into things, we actually did have an honorable mention here with this FVG, this big bullish gap. Tap the TNS entry here. Looks like you tapped the entry for the first time here. This is the first candle that taps the FVG. So it was basically along for about 14 points, which isn't too bad. And you could have got about 20 out of it if you held before coming back to break even pretty much. So yeah, pretty nice honorable mention there for pre-market. But jumping right into basically 9:30 here, we had a pre-market long. This one will not be counted because realistically, no one on the 1 minute is going to try this as a long after we already inversed the FVG right before 9:30 even hits. So this is the 9:30 candle. You can see we did tap back into the entry, but once again, it will not be counted because this is the 1 minute and we already inversed the gap. Now for the 5 minute TNS, I do count these type of trades when it just taps back into the entry, but that's because it's the 5 minute and more people would probably be trying a trade with a bigger FEG, on the 5 minute. This is the 1 minute, and we already inversed the gap before 9:30, so no, it will not be counted. Now moving on, we basically dumped, and I have these two black lines here to represent some entries that the indicator did not pick up. This is basically my second time recording this because I remembered seeing a setup that didn't show up on the indicator, and we'll get to that basically right about now. So you can see we basically had two bearish gaps right here. And the indicator doesn't pick up these setups because it's basically limited on how far it can look back because there are a lot of candles that go from between these setups. Just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to use a measuring tool, and you can see there are basically 1,369 bars that go, which is 1,369 candles that go by. The indicator, I think, has like about a 1K candle look back, which means it exceeds it, which is exactly why the indicator did not pick up on these two short setups. And yes, they are valid short setups with version 2. If I zoom in all the way, you can see it's a bullish candle there. There's also, if I go back even further, there's another bullish candle here. And these are both 3 points apart from the FEGs. They are valid setups. So just to show you that, if I'm zooming in here just a little bit, let me make it clear as day. Zooming in here using that low, you can see it is basically 3 points and 25, or really 3 points and a tick away from the edge of the FEG if you draw it, correctly. And then this one here is more than 3 points. It's about, or really 3 points and 3 ticks here. And then from the other side, it's 5 points. And once again, these are valid short setups. It's just the indicator didn't pick it up. And that's why I always say the indicator does 90% of the work for you. The other 10% is you having to maybe look all the way to the left. Now, realistically, most people probably didn't take these shorts, but they are valid shorts and they will be counted because they are indeed valid. And the only reason why I know this is because I was actually on the charts looking at this one and I was wondering why the indicator didn't pick it up. And then I did it manually myself and realized, okay, this one is a short. And then recording this video for the first time, I noticed this one as well. We're basically both shorts. So keeping that in mind, we basically tap into the first short entry right here. And the TP for it would be right here for 19 points, a 25-point stop. Right about there. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't even come close. But this one did get TP basically instantly. So that means trade number one is going to be a win for 19 points. Okay, so once again, trade number one is a win for 19 points. And then this one right here also is valid. Once again, zooming all the way in. This low does overlap with the FEG and it is 3 points away. But it's 3 points and 1 tick away. And yes, it is a valid short. This one, the TP is basically on this candle. Why is that? It's because this candle taps the FEG for the first time. You look one candlestick to the left, it's going to be this low, which means this low right here is the TP. So let's see how many points that was for. I'm just going to actually remove this FEG. So this one was for 18 points. And once again, it did not get even close to the stop loss with our 25-point stop. As you can see, it basically got instant TP. So trade number two is also a win for 18 points. Once again, 18 points, not 19. And so keeping that in mind, this one got TP right here. You could have, of course, held a runner basically to sell side for 46 points. But you can see after this one gets TP, we form a new short setup. Given the context now of, okay, this one was a short first, that would mean that this right here is an A plus short. Now the indicator picks this one up because it's actually, a lot closer. It's not 1,000+ candles away. The indicator is going to pick this one up. But what you may have not known is that, okay, this is an A plus setup. This is an A plus short here. And it actually did get TP as well. So I'm going to mark out the stop loss here. And you can see it gets tagged in. And if it gets TP, which of course it did, it was going to be for 38 points. So this one here is a trade number three is going to be a win for 38 points. Once again, you can see it does get TP. Now I'm just going to put in fast forward here because we didn't get it set up for a little bit. Actually, we did. Okay, so we have a long setup here, and this one, the higher entry got stopped and the lower entry won. So I'm just going to mark out the stop losses here for this. As you can see, I have the stop losses marked out. The higher entry got stopped, so this will be trade number 4 as a loss. And then I'm going to play it out again. The TP for it was basically right here. You can see it does get hit. If I zoom in, you can see the lower stop loss did not get hit, which means the lower entry survived and it got TP. So backing up, this will be trade number 5 for a win as 26 points. Once again, the higher entry for 25, the lower entry for 26. This will be trade number 5 as a win for 26 points. Okay, so once again, just playing it out here so you guys can see. The higher entry did get stopped. The lower one actually got full TP. It hanged on basically by like 1 tick there, but did not get stopped. You can see we actually did sweep the TP. Okay, so moving on to our next setup. Actually didn't get anything just yet. For a while, it looks like. Okay, so actually, okay, so this one here is a short. The TP is for 21 points, and it looks like it did get TP. Yep, it did. So trade number 6 is going to be a win for 21 points. Okay, and we still have a short setup up here. I'm just going to fast forward it, see what happens. Okay, wait, that one got TP as well. Okay, so this new short setup here, the TP is for 19 points. It's going to be trade number 7 as a win. Okay, now just to show you it did get TP, I'm going to mark out the stop loss here. You can see it did get TP right there. So once again, fast forwarding it till we get our next setup. Okay, we had a short right here. This one actually ended up failing. So I'm going to mark out the stop loss here for the short. You can see the TP was for negative R, of course, only for 10 points, but it did not get TP. It got stopped out. So that's going to be trade number 8 as a loss. Now, once again, just to show you it did get stopped, you can see it got swept right there. Now, fast forwarding again until we get another setup, we basically got a short right here. And this will be counted. It's at 3:57 where it gets tagged in. Once again, our cutoff time for the 1 minute is at 4 o'clock. So these 350 trades through the macro will be counted. This one gets tagged in, and it does get stopped out pretty much almost instantly there. So trade number 9 is going to be a loss. Okay, and that basically leads us into 4 o'clock because that play got stopped out right at 4. And so that would mean that these would be our final stats. So let's tally it all up and get our final results. All right, so these would be our final results for the 1 minute TnS. Today it walked away with 2.6 R, 66 points, and that's with 6 wins and 3 losses. So not too bad of a day for the 1 minute TnS. You know, it started off pretty hot with 3 wins in a row, lost 1, then 3 wins in a row again, and, you know, kind of finished the day with 2 losses in a row. But truly not too bad of a day. Now, once again, the first 2 setups, some people may have not seen, but once again, this is a daily review. This is not only keeping track of just the indicator plays because the indicator does not pick up on all the plays. These daily reviews reflect every single play from our 9:30 window to 4 o'clock. Once again, the 9:30 play, it tapped the TnS entry, but this is not counted the same exact way as I do the 5 minute because realistically, no one is going to take that trade. But yeah, guys, it's going to wrap it up for this TnS daily review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.